Adal, I'm in Adal, I'm in the U.S. Yeah, New Jersey. Caravaggio, good morning to you, and good morning to Magna. Just some body weight today, guys. Do some few pull-ups, a few push-ups, and some static lunges, and some knee raises on the bar. Caravaggio, favorite boxer. I don't follow it too closely anymore. Back in the day, I was a big Muhammad Ali fan, way back in the day. And then like in the 80s, I was a big, I liked Leonard, Hagler, guys like that. And then I followed Foreman when he came with his comeback back in the 90s. But I really don't follow boxing too closely anymore. I'm just sort of like a... Yeah, he was always my favorite. Even as a young kid, I watched him all the time. But lately, I'm not too much into... I was a really big boxing fan. I used to go to a lot of boxing matches. Like I said, I live in New Jersey, so I used to be in Atlantic City all the time. And back in the day, they always had some good fights down there. All right, just some body weight moves this morning, guys. Thanks, Caravaggio. Appreciate that. Morning fitness cars. Rick, if you want to start with some pull-ups, I would start with some inverted rows. I'll show you those actually on the bar in a second. And then I also advocate the resistance bands. This way that'll get you up on the bar. I don't know where you are as far as your progress, but definitely start with the inverted rows. And then I would invest in a set of bands, pull-up assist bands, and get up on that bar. Put your feet in the band and just get moving. Even if you do dead hangs, do some dead hangs from the bar. That's going to strengthen your grip, strengthen the forearms. Do some scapular pulls, right? You don't pull all the way up, just sort of like popping the turtle head out, you know what I mean? ADOS, 1211, whatever you can do. Well, you know, I'm just doing a little circuit, and whatever your time, however much time you have. If you have 20 minutes, it's fine. If you have 40 minutes, however many times you can go around, you know. It's really all up to you. You know, we all have different strength levels, ability levels, time constraints. So again, you know, Rick was asking about the pull-ups. If you can't do pull-ups, you do rows. If you can't do full pull-ups, you get some bands. You do dead hangs. There's ways to do it to build up your strength to get there. Rick, however long you can. You know, again, it depends. I don't know where you're at, but you want to get up there as long as you can. 30 seconds. Take a little rest, get back up there again for 30 seconds if you can. Build it up to a minute. But by that time, if you could do a dead hang for a minute, you should be on your way to doing some pull-ups. But inverted rows, get some bands, do some dead hangs, scapular pulls, things like that. Morning, Jody. Shout out Dublin. How you doing? Long time no see. Hope everything's good with you over there. Just doing some body weight this morning. Pull-ups, push-ups, a couple of static lunges, a little bit with the weighted jump rope, and some hanging knee raises. So Rick, if you're still there, these inverted rows are a good starting point. If you can see me over here. You can get started on those rows. And again, the higher that bar is, the more vertical your body is, it's going to be an easier pull, right? And then as you're getting more horizontal, it's going to be a harder pull. So start with a high bar, again, depending on where you're starting out at, what your level is. Will do, Jody. You know we don't stop. We can't stop. Definitely can't. Guys, just body weight this morning. Pull-ups, push-ups, some static lunges, knee raises from the pull-up bar, and then we'll throw in a few reps with the weighted jump rope. Pre, mid, and post-workout, guys. Straight black coffee. You don't need to be spending $30, $40, $50 on these garbage pre-workouts, which are loaded with nothing but caffeine, which is where you're gonna get any perceived energy from, is from the caffeine. The rest of that stuff is gonna be sweeteners, sugar, artificial flavors, dyes. Basically what you're buying is a can of Kool-Aid powder with some caffeine for 40 bucks. So do yourself a favor, stay away from that shit. Drink some black coffee. All body weight today, guys. Pull, push, lunge, and some knee raises from the pull-up bar, and then we'll hit some reps with the weighted jump rope. Good morning, Mikey. How you doing, brother? Thanks for being here. Guys, I appreciate you guys that hit that like button. Those of you that choose to hit the sub button, I really do appreciate it. Even if you don't do that, just hang out, lurk in the background, watch. Appreciate that too. Hope everybody's having a good morning. Just body weight today, some pulls, pushes, static lunges, knee raises from the pull-up bar. And we'll pepper in a few reps with the weighted jump rope. So guys, normally when I do a routine like this, I always mention that when you're doing body weight, like a circuit, similar to what I'm doing, I like to move as quick as I can from round to round. People always ask, well, how much time do you rest in between? You know, I like to just do as little as possible. By all means, if you need to rest, you have to rest. But I don't like to do a set, which happens a lot when I'm doing these lives, and I'll start chatting a little bit. But generally what you want to do is you hit a round, try and keep the heart rate going. As soon as you feel ready, hit another round, rather than, you know, walking around or getting on your phone, even worse, and letting your heart rate drop down again, and then start another round. So if you, again, like I mentioned earlier, when you're doing a circuit like this, you know, you don't even have to have a number in mind. Just hit your clock, however much time you have, as many rounds, as many reps as possible, you know. But you always want to try and push yourself a little more, because you're going to get the strength benefit from the exercises, and then by keeping that heart rate up throughout, you're also going to get some endurance benefit from it. Morning, Gloria. Shout out to Spain. Guys, be sure and check out my friend Gloria over in Spain, Gloria's Fitness Journey. Jody, 51, you're still a young buck. Still a young buck. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. You've been with me since early on, so I appreciate that. Stay safe over there. Hope you enjoyed your lunch. I hope it was something healthy. Golden Lotus Fitness, Florida Strong. Guys, also make sure you check out Golden Lotus down in Florida. Got some beasts now. Those guys work. Golden Lotus, my friend Tim Effect. These guys will show you how to work out for sure. For sure. They don't play around. They mix it up. They're doing their calisthenics, throwing that weight around, slapping the iron around. Make sure you check them out, Golden Lotus Fitness. Jackton Stoic. Good morning, brother. Many as I can. As many as I can. You know, I just take off when I see fit or when the schedule's not working right, you know. There's some days I have some obligations that I can't, but it's not too often. I think I'm pretty safe to say it's at least 5 days a week. Some days maybe more. And again, I mix it up. Could be, maybe I'll hit the gym one day. But it's usually always some combination of weights and some calisthenics, some weighted calisthenics. But definitely, I'm confident in saying 5 days a week for sure. And maybe some weeks more than that. But that goes back to knowing your body, right? You have to know, your body is going to tell you really when you need the rest, for the most part. Morning, bro. Yeah, it's really nice morning. We've had a couple of nice, so far I don't want to jinx it, but some really nice weather and nice and cool. Really cool. For August. So much for the global warming theory. But it has been really nice out. But when it comes to the working out, we have to be like the mailman. Rain, sleet, hail, or snow, we got to get it done. Good morning, Kumar, Rahul. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate everybody to hit that like button, everybody that chooses to sub. If you don't choose to do neither, I'm good with that too, as long as you're here watching. And You want to comment, feel free. You want to just lurk in the background, I appreciate that too. Body weight this morning, we're doing some pull-ups, push-ups, static lunges, hanging knee raises from the pull-up bar, and we'll pepper in some weighted jump rope. Appreciate that, Bri. Jack, where are you at? I don't know. I don't remember if you told me. I apologize, but I'm in Jersey. 7:30 in the morning here. Where are you at, Jack? You over in Europe? All right, Jack. I'll remember that now. I remember. Again, I apologize if you told me that before. Goose is back. Good morning. You know how we do it. Another day, another workout, right? Story of my life. At least 5 days a week, I guess. Hello there. It's too quiet. Nope. Yeah, it is actually. It's very quiet here, which is nice. Shout out to India. I appreciate you popping in. Yeah, Jack. There are some countries over in Europe, that are like in the. Now you're talking about just obesity, because when you combine like the overweight threshold with obesity, the United States, we're near an 80% when you combine those two. But if you count just obesity, which is the BMI over 30, we're at like 42%. And then you look at Japan, which is 4%. And then there are some European countries, I don't know what Sweden exactly is, but I know, say France is somewhere in the 20s, and that's still extremely high. But when you compare it to us, you guys are extremely healthy. And yet, very, very little physical education in the schools. Very little. Good morning, old school. Gusto Game Bros in the house. Morning, Gus. Guys, make sure you check out my friend Gus over on the Game Bros channel. Check out a video he did recently with my friend Aldo from Crusades of Motivation, where they just decided to wake up one morning and hit 500 muscle ups, which is absolute beast. Make sure you check that out. I feel almost embarrassed now after 500 muscle ups to say I'm doing pull-ups, push-ups, and some static lunges. But yeah, Goose, you're coming to Canada? Oh, and you are going to drop down into the States, right? Yeah. Well, I don't know what Canada's probably. I don't think Canada's as bad as us either, but I think they might be a close second. We're pretty similar, I think. Gains are gains. That's it. Goose, yeah, it's coming. It's all over the world. There's no stopping it. There's no stopping it. You talk about a pandemic. But just over here in the States, it's just completely out of control. And they're convincing people that it's your genetics, and they're pushing this Ozempic and all of these drugs. They want to put little kids on it, and there are little kids that are obese. 30, 40, 50, is it 30 or 50% of young kids are overweight or obese in the US now. They have chronic diseases, fatty liver. You have little kids with fatty liver. That was something years ago. When you heard fatty liver, you thought of a 60, 65-year-old drunk, right? Somebody who's been boozing for 30 years and destroyed their liver. Now they have a fatty liver. We have 5 and 6-year-old kids that are overweight with fatty livers. And what do they want to do? Rather than teach them, get them eating healthy, teach them the right way, we'll just stick you with a needle, and it's a life sentence. But I don't know what you're in the Netherlands, so I don't know. It's definitely not as bad as the U.S., right? So I don't know where you guys are, but when you drop down into the States, I think if you look around, it's going to be pretty evident that it's not good. It's not good just looking at people. The temptation is everywhere. Everything's processed. Everything is processed. Everything. And it's not even food. I say it all the time. It is not food. It's not. It's a chemical concoction. You know what I mean? It's GMO wheat or corn or whatever mixed in with flavoring and coloring and chemicals and preservatives. Yeah, no doubt. That's what I said. It's coming. It's coming. you're not stopping it, right? It's like the virus. Once it starts, it spreads, and there's no stopping it. Definitely no stopping it. But that's why I always, say, especially you guys that have kids, that have families, you have to be the role model. You have to be the guy that teaches your family, that takes care of your family, and you're the role model. Because once the medical establishment gets their hooks, all they're looking for is a customer for life, right? They don't care if it's diabetes medications, blood pressure medications. In a perfect world, it'll be all of them, and a lot of times it is for most people. Now the weight loss stuff, and there's so many. I was watching this one doctor that lives in an area where I used to live, and he's so full of shit, and he's selling Ozempic, and he's calling it the skinny shot, and he's telling people how safe it is, and you don't have to worry about anything, and how good you're gonna look. And I mean, when I see just a lying sack of shit, and it's all about the money, you know what I mean? And this guy's, a doctor. What does that have to do with health? You know what I mean? You're selling people, and he's calling it, the term he came up with is the skinny shot. I'm selling the skinny shot. Come on in, it's safe. And again, they want to put little kids on, and I talked about this a little bit yesterday, how everybody wants results yesterday. Nobody wants to do all the work. So if you present that to people, somebody who's obese, or even a little overweight, you know what I mean? You want to lose 20, you think in your mind, well, I just have to lose 20 pounds, which usually it's not just that, there's a lot more to it. But they see, oh, I'll just go stick this needle in my ass and boom, I'll be fine, TRT is everywhere, Goose. I worked in a department with 200 guys, and some years back, I found out that we counted 36 guys that were doing that. There was a certain doctor in town, actually in the next town over, and he was famous for it. Everybody was going to him. I've told this story several times. And they were young guys. They weren't even older guys. They were guys, a lot of them were in their 30s, a couple of them were in their 20s. And this piece of shit was giving it to them, giving them TRT. And they all blew up. They all put on 20 or 30 pounds. They were looking like monsters. And then the shit hit the fan. The insurance company was questioning everything. How come all these guys that work in the same place are being diagnosed with low testosterone and given TRT? So they cracked down on it. And then within a couple of months, all these guys shrunk down, like you let the air out of them. But yeah, and that's another thing. It's another thing with guys. You know what I mean? Well, I have low testosterone. They think nothing about it. Just shoot me up with some TRT. Give me the gel. I'll rub it under my arm, whatever you do with it. And they look at it as no harm, no foul. It's just going to make, again, because it goes back to I don't want to do the work. I don't want to put the work. I don't want to change my habits. I want to keep doing what I'm doing and not look like I'm doing what I'm doing. It's really sad. See, there you go, in his 30s, right? And he drinks right. So I'm not going to change anything. It's the same thing with the weight loss drug, with the Ozempic stuff. All these people, it's not only women, there's a lot of guys taking that stuff too. I don't have to do anything. You mean you're just going to stick a needle in my ass and I'm going to lose weight? Sign me up. And the TRT guys think that, I'm still not going to do anything. I'll stay out late. I'll drink. I'll eat shit. I won't exercise. If I do, it'll be minimal. And I'll just take TRT and everybody's going to think that I'm looking like Arnold. Yeah, the Holy Grail, bro. Yeah, but it's the furthest thing from it. It's a slippery slope. Goose, there's a lot of things we could do right. A lot of things, but people aren't willing to do it, And most of us are so far behind the eight ball and we let ourselves get that way, whether you realize that you're doing it or not. But once you get that far back, a lot of people just lose hope. And the laziness comes into it again. I want everything yesterday. I I want the results. You mean I really have to work for it? And that's why people are so easily swayed when it comes to stuff like that. Give me the pill, give me the shot, give me the needle, give me the TRT, and it's going to fix everything. And like Brian said, it's, you know, everybody looks at it as the Holy Grail. It's a life sentence. You start taking that, it's a life sentence, and there's going to be consequences, serious consequences. I know, Jack, I'm bullshitting too much. All right, see, I'm cold now. I got to warm back up. Morning, Jason. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, you guys are distracting me. So like I said, when I do these routines, my goal is to always go as quickly as possible to keep the heart rate up. You know, obviously it's not possible if you people keep distracting me, pulling me away from my workout. But that's the goal, right? To build up a little strength with the moves and go as quickly as possible. Obviously take the rest if and when you need it. But as soon as you feel ready, you get right back into that next set, and we'll keep the heart rate up, build some endurance. Thank you. I appreciate you, brother. Have a good day. Don't work too hard. And hopefully see you next time. Again, guys, my pre, mid, and post workout, just a little black coffee. Stay away from those powdered pre-workout things. It's just a bunch of junk. The only benefit or any type of energy you're going to get from those things is going to be from the caffeine content and sugar, because most of them do have sugar. But then the ones that advertise no sugar, it's always going to be some type of sweetener, you know, whether it's Ace K, Splenda, which is sucralose, which you want to stay away from, artificial flavors, you know, coloring, the dyes and stuff, which definitely aren't good for the body. So a little black coffee, because really all you're buying is a $40 can of Kool-Aid when you buy those things. Don't think you're doing yourself any favors. You're not getting any type of health benefit from it. You know, it's just like everything else. It's just like the processed food. You become addicted to it. They put a little beta-alanine in there, so it gives you that itchy, scratchy, the tingly feeling, and you think you're getting some type of super energy. Take a spoonful of beta-alanine and drink a cup of coffee. You get the exact same effect. I promise. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. You can get a big bag of beta-alanine off Amazon and take a spoonful of that. Right? Take 4 or 5 grams of that before you work out with your coffee. Jack's strictly into bodybuilding. I was never like bodybuilding in the sense that I was lifted weights, if that's what you mean. You know, when I started out as a kid, started out in high school with the Universal Gym, the old rickety old weight stack machine. And then when I got my first gym membership, I never, ever, ever, for the better part of my life, realized the benefits of bodyweight training, calisthenics. So generally throughout my life, it was just weightlifting, you know. But again, I didn't get into like powerlifting where I was trying to deadlift 500, you know. It was always just, you know, bench. I would do some barbell squats. I was never comfortable with barbell squats for some reason with that bar on my neck. I would try pads, the whole thing. I don't know what it was, but I did it. I did it back in the day. But yeah, and then it wasn't until some years back I got into, I've mentioned before, I did that program called P90X, which is a good combination of sort of like dumbbell work and body weight work and stuff, and I really enjoyed that. I did that a couple of times. And then I sort of transitioned into doing more and more calisthenics. You know, and I mean, you see when I'm on here, you know, I still do, even when I'm not live on YouTube and I'm doing a workout, I'll do weighted calisthenics. I like the weighted dips. You know, just things like that, but some weighted pull-ups. I've been hitting those lately. I think the weighted pull-ups are a really great way to build up the strength too, without a doubt. But yeah, calisthenics, weighted calisthenics. But generally throughout my whole life, I would just hit the gym and it would be weightlifting. I never realized the true benefits of the body weight work. And there really are true benefits. I'm not going to try and butcher your name, Negan. Supplements? No, I don't take any type of, well, I take vitamin D. I think vitamin D is crucial for all of us, for everybody across the spectrum. I don't think any of us the vast majority of us are deficient in vitamin D. And when you talk about, especially guys, you talk about low testosterone and things like that. Vitamin D is crucial, not only for testosterone production, for your immune system, for so many things in your body. And very, very few of us get sufficient sunlight. So anyway, vitamin D I take every day. I take a little bit of zinc. And then in the morning, I do a little salt concoction where I do an electrolyte drink. I take a glass of water, squeeze some lemon in it, and then I'll do magnesium, some potassium powder, and a little bit of pink salt. And those are your 3 main electrolytes. And I do that every morning with a little bit of, again, with a little bit of lemon in it. Lemon is allegedly good for your liver, so you do that on an empty stomach every morning. And really that's about it. Now people ask me about taking supplements. The only thing that I advocate, and some people that I work with are actually taking it, and I have taken it, you know, at points throughout the years, is creatine. Creatine monohydrate, just a powder. You do a teaspoon of that a day. That's one of the safest, probably the most extensively researched supplements in the world. It's so cheap, it's almost free. And if you're going to garner any benefit from a supplement, it would probably be creatine. So that, yeah, that's, and then as far as protein, you go on the internet and you're going to see all over the place. Every expert, every influencer is going to tell you something different, depending on your age. And I think a general starting point for most people is about a gram of protein a day per pound. You'll have to do the conversion to kilograms wherever you are, but 1 gram of protein per day per pound of body weight. Now, there's a caveat there. If you're a 300-pound guy and you started out at, say your optimal body weight is 170 pounds, you want to base that on what you think your optimal body weight might be. So if you're a 300-pound guy, I wouldn't strive to get 300 grams of protein in a day, because you'll soon be a 400-pound guy, because everything else that comes with that protein that you're eating, you're going to be overeating a lot. So I would shoot for 0.8 to maybe 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal body weight per day when it comes to protein. As far as protein supplements, I don't really advocate those. I think that 98% of the protein drinks on the market are shit. You talk about Muscle Milk and Pure Protein. Those are a couple of the brands that come to mind. They're absolute shit. I would never drink those. I would never suggest to anybody to drink them. I would look for, if you want to supplement some protein, you want to look for a good, clean, whey isolate protein powder. Something with as few ingredients as possible. You're just looking for the protein itself, maybe some type of flavor. You know, there's always going to be some type of flavoring, and maybe sweetened with some stevia. There's a brand that I use. It's called Transparent Labs. I just found it accidentally. I was doing some research, but to walk into Walmart and just grab a can of protein powder, absolutely not. I would do my research, and you want a good, clean whey protein isolate. And again, I don't advocate protein drinks. A lot of people think, well, I'll drink protein. And that's the other thing too. People think the more protein I eat, the more muscle I'm going to grow. That couldn't be further from the truth. Your body needs protein. Your body needs complete protein. It needs the whole amino acid profile. And you're going to get that from animal proteins, from your meat, your chicken, fish, eggs, especially eggs. But as far as a protein supplement, a protein powder, a protein drink, you look at that as a supplement. If you're trying to reach, if you're legitimately following a nutrition program and you know how much protein you want to get, and you're having a hard time eating that much protein, and you want to add in a protein drink, but these people that just live on them and just pound them down all day long thinking they're going to grow more and more muscle, or people that use them as a weight loss tool, I'll just drink shakes and I'll lose body fat. I don't advocate that at all. You have to learn how to eat. No, Jack, I never really, I honest to God, I never did. Like I said, I never got into the bodybuilding part because I was never really into nutrition. I never really was. I never realized the importance of the nutrition for most of my life. I really didn't, because I was never a real heavy guy. You know, I started out when I was younger, I was like in the 170 pounds, 174 pounds. And then I went to like the 190s. And the most I've ever weighed in my life was between 225 and 230. And that was not good weight. That wasn't good weight. That was just alcohol, bloat, and eating too much. So, Playman, sometimes, yeah, I have this issue going on with something's always going to hurt, right? But there's a difference between the soreness, one of these, we're all going to, if you do it long enough and you do enough exercise, at some point you're going to tweak something. So you have to know the difference between a real legitimate injury that's going to prevent you from really doing something, or just one of these nagging things, and I tend to work around it. You know, I've had issues with my shoulder. Yeah, I definitely had I think it was last year. I had some issue going on. I was getting a lot of pain in my shoulder, but I did some dead hangs. I worked around it. I just, and it worked out, thankfully. Now I have something going on with my elbow, and I'll feel it every once in a while, but it kind of comes and goes. But if you're going to do this, if you're going to work, whether it's weights or calisthenics or body weight or weighted calisthenics, at some point you're going to run into something. Rick, endurance is, you're talking about cardio endurance, you know what I mean? Just like I talked about earlier, I don't know where you are as far as your weight, but if you do things like this, you do body weight exercises and you run them in a circuit, you go as quickly as you can through the circuits, and you always want to keep your heart rate up. I don't know what your level is, but if you can't even do that, walking, movement is going to increase your endurance. Any type of movement, consistent movement, and you just have to keep building up. You can't walk for 10 minutes a day for the rest of your life. You have to walk 10 minutes, 11 minutes, you know what I mean? And even when you're doing even with calisthenics, you're doing body weight, there's that principle of progressive overload. At some point, you're going to plateau, and it's the same thing with your endurance. You have to build it up. All right, Jack, man, I don't know if I missed you, but I appreciate you being here as always, brother. Mediterranean diet? Okay, yeah. That's a good mix. Magnesium. That's the other thing I wanted to mention. Yeah, I mentioned that I take that electrolyte drink in the morning, but a lot of people are also deficient in magnesium, right? And there's a lot of processes in the body that utilize magnesium, and a lot of us are deficient in that. So good on you, Mediterranean diet. Nah, old school, I can't, man. That's one thing I can't go back to. I really can't. And I loved it, man. You got my mouth watering now. My 3 cheeseburgers, my chicken nuggets with the sweet and sour sauce. Nice big Coke. Stop tempting me, brother. The flesh is weak. I'll sign off here and run over to McDonald's. Get another set in here, guys. Appreciate all you guys that hit that like button. See some likes going up. You guys that chose to sub, I appreciate that too. Even if you didn't, if you do neither, just hang out, bullshit a little bit. Rick, again, I guarantee you, if I tell you, fiber, you'll go online, you'll sign out of this chat, and you'll go online, you'll find somebody that's going to tell you, you don't need fiber in your diet. I do. So yeah, but fiber, you're going to get that from, if you're eating a relatively decent whole food diet, you're going to get that from the vegetables, the fruits contain fiber, so you'll have more than enough, And then the other one is, do you need carbs? Do you need them? You don't need them. Are they beneficial in a lot of ways? Absolutely. The problem is when you tell people carbs, they run and get white bread, they get cookies, they get donuts, they get muffins, they get candy, anything that has sugar in it, and they say, I'm eating carbs, right? If you want to talk carbs, you're talking about some tubers, some sweet potatoes, any type of vegetable, any type of fruit. And I'm not talking about drinking fruit juice. Look, I'm drinking orange juice, that's a carb. No. I'm talking about eating food. You know what I mean? So protein is essential. You've heard the term essential amino acids. They're essential. You have to have them for good health. You've heard the term essential fatty acids. Your body needs fat. Your brain needs fat. Your joints need it. Fat is essential to the human body. You've never, ever, ever heard the term essential sugar, essential carbohydrate. Every cell in your body is going to use glucose, which is a form of sugar. Every single cell. But your body makes it. Your body can make plenty of glucose, the glucose that it needs. See, the problem is when people hear carbohydrate, they automatically think soda, cookies, cake, all the usual bullshit. And you got that asshole on social media, that V-Shred, pulling out a box of donuts, you know what I mean, showing, and people get that idea, oh, well, I could eat donuts and look like this moron. So it's all false hope, you know. Can you eat? Sure. And again, everything I said, real food, vegetables, fruits, sweet potatoes, you know, things like that. Those are carbs, and they're gonna give you some benefit, without a doubt. Because there's other vitamins, there's micronutrients to be had from those foods. But I promise you, there's no nutrients to be had from Oreo cookies. I promise you that. I don't care where you go on the internet. That I'll double down on. So I don't care who tells you that Oreos are going to give you some nutrition. Art of War, no, I don't necessarily skip a day between workouts. No, definitely not. I try and get, I talked earlier about it, maybe 5 days a week, sometimes even more, you know, and I break it up. I was in a routine some while back where I was doing full body workouts. I was going much lighter with the weights, much higher with the reps. And I found some benefit from that. I really enjoy doing that. But I get bored easily and I kind of switch it up. So right now I kind of do, obviously this is the exception here. I'm doing a sort of like a push-pull leg thing and some knee raises. But generally my workouts are going to be, say, like a push day, a pull day, and then a day with some legs and shoulders. And it's going to be some combination of weight work, bodyweight calisthenics, and/or weighted calisthenics. But I don't specifically say, well, I worked out Monday, so I have to be off on Tuesday. You know, if something's up where I just happen to miss the workout or I can't, but I always strive not to do that. But yeah, and again, I talked earlier, it's about knowing your body. Your body's going to tell you when you need off, when you really need to take the day off. Barring any injury, you know, or anything like that. But you have to know your body. And that just comes with time, with doing it. Good morning, Eric. Appreciate you being here, brother. Yeah. I'll be doing dips old school while everybody's dipping their nuggets in that sweet and sour sauce. I tell you, that stuff was good though. It wasn't good for you, but it tasted good. I wanted to throw up every time I ate it too. You know, it's like all that stuff. It goes down so easy and it tastes so good. And like, you almost get into like a frenzy. Like I would start eating it, and then like 15 minutes later, I'm like, holy shit, what did I just do? It's like, I don't even remember what happened. You know what I mean? And then like 20 minutes after that, my stomach is churning. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Moses, I give a shit, to be honest with you. I give a shit. I had your philosophy all throughout my life, and if it works for you, brother, then stick with it. Then stick with it. But see, that's the mindset that everybody has, right? But if you do have a short time here, why would you be like 80% of the people and be obese, overweight, sick, going to doctors, taking pills, sticking needles in your ass, a 30-year-old guy looking for TRT? Why would you want to do that? Why, if you do have a short time, and we all do have a short, and I can attest to that. I'm 60 years old right now. And it's a short time, believe me. And I wasted a lot of time. So, again, you do you. If you enjoy it, I hope you stay healthy doing it. But I think that's a flawed philosophy, to be honest with you. I want to be here. I want to be able to pick up my grandson. I want to be able to do things. I don't want to be sitting in the doctor's office for 2 hours and people telling me, wow, You know, takes 2 months to get an appointment with this doctor. He's a really good doctor. It's all bullshit. Playman, yeah, try that out. I mean, again, you're gonna find when it comes to protein, they're all over the place. They're all over the place. Are you a bodybuilder? Are you over 50 or 60? They'll say as you get older, you know, there's a different number. It's all over the place, but that's not a bad number. You know what I mean? That the half to 0.7, I don't think you're gonna go wrong with that as long as you're getting some good quality protein. You know, again, not trying to survive off of these $20 cans of shit, low quality, sugared up, flavored up stuff that you buy in Walmart. But if you're eating, you know, some meat, some eggs, some fish, I'm a big fan of the sardines, low mercury content there, and I just happen to like the flavor. Things like that, you're gonna be fine. But people just overthink it. We just overthink it. You know, and the number I threw out earlier was 0.8 to 1. So you're saying 0.5 to 0.7? Yeah, I think you'd be fine. I think you'd be absolutely fine, but try it. You're not gonna go wrong if you're 70 to 80% you're doing the right thing and feeding yourself quality food, the best quality that you can get today. But whole foods, and you're gonna be fine. Old school, I haven't, but I would. I definitely would, but it's actually illegal I'm in New Jersey. And it's illegal in New Jersey. It's against the law. I actually did a little short video not too long ago, right? I said in the video, alcohol is legal. Marijuana is legal. Also, look even prescription drugs. Look at the painkillers that they give you. It's all legal. Right? Gender affirming hormones and surgery for minors in New Jersey is legal. But they outlawed raw milk. We're living in a clown world. We're living in a clown world. It's unreal. Yeah, You're right, old school. Telling the truth is becoming against the law. All right, guys. Been here for a while this morning. Gonna have to cut it. Again, everybody that hit that like button, everybody that subbed, I appreciate that. Appreciate the support, even if you don't choose to do that. As long as you're here watching, I do appreciate everybody that pops in with the feedback. Everybody get your reps in. There's no excuses. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll talk to everybody in the next one. Thanks, guys.